So you come here to learn how to cook mackerel fish? Well, I think you're in the right place. At least I'm going to teach you one way that I cook mackerel fish. So I bought this fish frozen from the supermarket. It was already cut and cleaned for me, so I didn't really have to do much but to just rinse it and pat it dry. First thing I'm going to do is chop up my vegetables. I'm using white onion, green pepper, red pepper for the most part. Those are basically all the vegetables I'm using. So I'm chopping up my onions first, and then I'm gonna chop up my peppers. I have a story about green peppers actually. So the first time I remember ever tasting green peppers was at my uncle's house, one of my uncle's house. I used to associate green peppers with like wealthy people food because it elevated the flavors so much, like my brain went ballistic just tasting the green pepper in spaghetti. That's what I had it with before. So today I use green peppers in my meals whenever I want to have a nice essence of aroma. It brings nice flavor to the meals. Chopping board is reminding me of Christmas. So now that that's chopped, I'm gonna go ahead and season these mackerel steaks. I'm using salt, some black pepper. You wanna try and season the mackerel evenly. I tried to do something interesting here. It doesn't really change the flavor. So I seasoned one part with salt and pepper, and then I seasoned the other part with curry and some other seasonings. I just think it's an interesting way to flavor the fish, but it all still tastes good at the end anyways. I don't think there's much of a difference if you put all the spices in a bowl and kind of marinate the fish in it versus if you do it this way, because I'm just going to fry the fish immediately after seasoning anyways. So after the curry, I ended up adding some rosemary, some thyme, and some bouillon cubes. Bouillon. You know, bouillon cubes have a lot of MSG in them, so I'm trying to find a replacement to substitute, the flavor of bouillon, but still get that same taste but not have MSG. So I'm gonna try experimenting making my own bouillon cubes at home. If I do that and if it ends up being successful, then I might post a video about it. I went ahead and added some chili powder there just to add a little bit more spice, and then I'm giving that a shake so that all the flavors can get to know the fish and the fish know the flavors. And I'm gonna go ahead and fry this fish. I put an onion in my frying pan because the onion is going to help release some more flavors in the oil. And the oil is going to be more tasty because after I finish frying the fish in this oil, I'm going to use the same oil to make my stew that I'm going to use to pepper the fish. To be honest, I'm Nigerian, so I don't think I've ever I hardly fry anything without frying the onions in the oil first. It's just like a staple way of cooking for me, but it does add a lot of flavor, and there is a difference when you don't. So give it a try if you haven't. It doesn't always have to be onions. Maybe you can try, what's it called? Is it shallots? The ones that look like onions? Or garlic even, or ginger. So just frying some kind of herb or, spicy vegetable to flavor your oil. Anyways, so I'm frying this mackerel until I get a nice golden brown color on both sides. So this side is okay. I'm just gonna flip it again, but this top color looks perfect. This is the golden color I'm looking for. Another way of testing if your fish is done is if you poke a fork into it and it becomes flaky. So you do want to get flakes on the fork, and I tested that and my fish was ready, so I just put that aside. And I'm gonna go ahead and take out the onions from here and preserve the oil, because this is what I'm going to cook my stew in. Then I'm going to use to pepper the fish. Another tip here, people. So in any typical Nigerian household, you probably use peppers and tomato and onion blend mixed like this. Another way I try to get the water out, rather than boiling the tomato, pepper, and onion blended mix, I sometimes just blend them and then freeze them into little bags like this. By the time I'm ready to use them and I bring it out of the freezer to thaw it, I then drain out the water basically like this. It saves me some time if I don't want to like spend another hour boiling down the tomatoes and onions. You do get a little more of a tomato, oniony, pepper flavor when you do it this way versus when you cook it out. So it's up to you. If you try it, let me know. Let me know how it works for you. But this is a different way that I use my blended tomato pepper mix. So I went ahead and drained that, and I'm going to fry that in the oil. But first, I want to add my vegetables. Come on, girl, add the vegetables. Good. I caught a lot, didn't I? Okay, that should be everything. Yes, that's everything. So I'm gonna leave that to fry for a little bit. Let's say 3 minutes. And I will add some seasoning to it. Not too much because my oil is already nicely flavored, but you know, I'll give that a fry first. Remember how I said my chopping board is looking like Christmas? Now my frying pan is looking like Christmas. But it's not Christmas. So I just added the blended tomato pepper mix into my chopped onions and peppers, and I'll give that a good stir so that it can fry well. This is not spicy, by the way. None of these peppers are hot, they're sweet. Even in the pepper and tomato and onion mix, there's just a little bit of hot Scotch bonnet in there, but not a lot. So I'm going ahead to mix this as it's frying, and I'm tasting along the way for flavor and adding seasoning or salt as needed. I just added a bit of my fish oil that I used to fry the fish previously. And I'm adding some bay leaves just because I bought these bay leaves like more than 6 months ago. I've always intended to use it for jollof rice, but I always forget. So I saw it this time and I'm like, I'm gonna try and use the bay leaf. And I was not disappointed, people. It just made my fish sauce more flavorful and aromatic. Look at that. Now making way for the fish. Add your fish in there. Your fish is gonna be so excited to be in this pot of deliciousness. I'm telling you. They're not gonna regret being fried and used for this recipe. Anyways, try to coat the fish with the sauce as much as possible. Being gentle, of course. You don't want your fish to what's the word called? Scatter? Yeah, scatter. You don't want your fish to scatter in the pot. So try to evenly coat them as much as possible and let it cook. So I would say give it like 3 to 6 minutes, you know, because the fish is cooked, the sauce is cooked. We just want them to cook together and be best friends. That's what we're doing, you know, so that when you bite into it, you feel like they've always been one. So just let it cook for like 3 to 6 minutes. Yeah, that's it, people. This is the peppered mackerel, one way that I cook mackerel. If you try it, please let me know. And anything you want to add to this recipe or take out of it, make it your own, twist it, I don't know, play with it. You can have this with rice, potatoes, yam, any form of carbohydrate that you like. It's a good alternative to eating chicken or meat all the time. I liked it. My household likes it. I think you're gonna like it. So try it. If you like this video, please give this a thumbs up, share, subscribe if you like this kind of content. And thank you so much for watching. Bye bye now.